Hello everyone and welcome back to the Great Book of Grudges. My name is Nathan, it's a fresh new year, but that doesn't stop the news from rolling. As you can see here, we're with the Old World mod by ChaosRobie for Total War Warhammer 3. Just this morning at 6 AM there's been an update. It is very important to note at the beginning that some things might change, because the Galleon's Graveyard was added in, but the settlements can't be seen. But other than that, there has been a lot of changes. The map is now at 809 settlements. I just had to quickly check, which is absolutely huge. Keep in mind that the Immortal Empires map is, what, 550 or so? So, yeah, this is getting huge. The Southlands, a little bit of Araby have been added, and a bunch of settlements have been added into pretty much the old world, just adding in and fleshing out the territories a little bit more. So regarding the Galleon's Graveyard stuff, the settlements still work. You can actually still click on them from what I've been able to see. I imagine that might get updated as soon as Robbie finds a fix for that. It might even be updated by the time that the video goes live. But, yeah, let's talk about what has changed. So, Araby has been added in, a little bit of Northern Araby, which gives you a few settlements around those regions. Some legendary lords, like for example Nakari, have been moved down south to allow for a little bit more variety and diversity in terms of start locations. There's a lot of texture work that's been done around these areas, especially when you start looking towards the southern Badlands. But yeah, the world is much, much larger now, giving you a little bit more area to expand your empires. I haven't done a full map completion of this yet, but it's definitely going to be on the cards when I start streaming again after a little bit of a break, as I am busy with some other matters, unfortunately. But yeah, a bunch of characters are also now available to play with Alfarian the Grim. Teclis has been moved down south. You've got a lot of the Vampire Coast characters too, which is pretty cool. I mean, you could use a mod to kind of just change that around anyway, but now you've got that ability. When you start looking towards the southern Badlands, this is where you see a lot of the texture work being done, a lot more, Orc factions, some Tomb King factions. Catep is down here too. It's a lot better. It actually provides for a lot more freedom of movement. I know some people wanted to move down south with their dwarf factions and trying to ally up with the Empire, letting them have their own territories. A lot of people have been role-playing these campaigns, which is amazing. Actually, it really brings in that tabletop feeling here. So it's really, really cool to see a lot more areas being added in. Pretty much just the Darklands and a little bit of the Northern Chaos Waste are left. I'm not sure if ChaosRobie wants to expand the map even further, but so far there's not been a hard cap found. Specifically for new settlements, there's actually been a different hard cap found, which we'll talk about later on in this video. But yeah, it is huge. It is absolutely huge. This map is just looking more and more impressive with each passing day. The updates here have been fairly frequent too. I don't know how Robbie does it, to be honest, because this doesn't seem easy. But yeah, we should be very thankful to ChaosRobie and, well, pretty much everyone that worked on this mod and the creators of the game tools too, as it's provided us with a really fun campaign to play around with whilst we're waiting for official updates. So, some of the changes that have come into effect are extra settlements in the areas that we've already had playable. For example, there are new Wood Elven forests within the lands of Bretonnia, for example, and even in Araby. This is to allow for you to kind of teleport around if you're playing as the Wood Elves. The Forests of Arden have been added in, which is really, really nice. 2 new settlements in Albion to kind of flesh that area a little bit more. A few different settlements here and there in the World's Edge Mountains and also in the Norse Dwarf areas. I think it's around 22 new settlements that have been added in with the Old World area specific, not counting Araby and the area of the southern Badlands. There's also been some quality of life fixes where, say for example, the forts, so these are the Empire forts that you can find in the borders, have been turned into their own specific regions, which is a bit of a shame, I must admit. There are really good benefits to those forts being linked up, but I understand why they haven't, because it would make the Empire campaign a little bit too easy. But that also means that you get another provincial bonus towards trade and so on when you're playing as the Empire, so you're still getting benefits, don't you worry. If anything, it's more long-term than short-term. Also, it's very important to note, because I already know that some people are typing in the comments, that if you are still running a campaign and you want to finish that and not restart your campaign, as when mod updates for maps happen, it actually makes you restart. If you go on the direct page, this is the mod page, which will be linked in the description below, scroll down, there's older versions there. So you can find 1.17, which is the most recent one, barring this, and you can finish off your campaigns to be able to then start fresh when you want to, right? And another note, just in case that you're logging on and you're not seeing it, it's very important, it's been mentioned by ChaosRobie, but some people don't tend to go down to the comment section. Just unsubscribe and resubscribe to the mod, and that will update it to the most recent version, so that way you can start looking at all the new areas and so on, which is pretty impressive. Obviously, the map is absolutely enormous, and this is where things get a little bit interesting. It does feel like it is running better, actually. So this is really, really interesting, and I believe it might be a reason why performance is a little bit better. So, you know, corruption spreading, the texture stuff, like when you play as a vampire, when you play as the chaos factions and so on, well, there's an actual hard cap as to how many provinces that can actually spread to. 256 to be in fact. Since there's more than those types of provinces, ChaosRobie has removed the ability for that. Now, yeah, you'll still get trees and so on kind of being affected, and if you're playing as, say, for example, a vampire counts, the area will still get darker visually, but you won't get the corruption on the actual campaign map. So yeah, it's very interesting to see that there is a few different types of hard caps there. And what really is curious to me is, well, the map feels better. I played around for a while and the performance feels better. Don't get me wrong, the old world performance was generally better than Immortal Empires, but this just feels a little bit smoother. I didn't have that many frame issues when I took off the Fog of War, for example. It's honestly very curious, because maybe it's because those textures are always actively changing. It's something that has been an issue with, you know, Realm of Chaos, and it was kind of noticeable a little bit in Warhammer 2, but that's only if you were playing a Chaos faction and had taken over a large portion of the world. So it's definitely something that I'm going to report to Creative Assembly once they're back to work. I'm not sure what day they actually get back post New Year's, but hey, it might actually lead to an investigation. You never know, because sometimes, yes, Creative Assembly do look towards mods to see if anything there can help out on main game, or if they found a fix and so on. We've known this for a while. It's been a thing since, well, you know, Rome 2. But yeah, it's a really, really cool update. Obviously, this is something that we've all been kind of waiting for, because I believe Robbie showed a preview of this very early into December. It's really cool to finally see this. This map is, again, the reason why, a big reason why I haven't really quit playing Warhammer 3. There's my cat. It's definitely keeping us busy whilst we're waiting for Creative Assembly to come back and finally provide us with, well, pretty much everything that was promised before they broke up for Christmas. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Have a nice day, guys, and I'll see you all again very, very soon.